Hello, I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man. We're at 20 Stories in Manchester, where JMW's Real Estate Commercial Department are having a Pre-MIPIM Roundtable event. Thomas Pearson is head of Real Estate Commercial here at JMW Solicitors. So Thomas, JMW are taking a delegation to MIPIM this year?
Yes, we've got 8 of us attending from Manchester and London. Team's really looking forward to it, and really diverse mix of what we represent within real estate and property litigation attending MIPIM 2023.
And we're at the fabulous 20 Stories in Manchester now for a roundtable event. Tell me about it.
For a number of years now, JMW's wanted to get an insight into the market and, with their clients and contacts alike, give their opportunity ahead of the MIPIM Festival to get in the room and talking about what the relevant topics will be. So today, yes, we're at 20 Stories and we're having a chat to talk about the relevant topics, what the key talking points will be at MIPIM 23 and what the key points for the Northwest and Greater Manchester will be.
And we've got a lot of different partners from JMW with a lot of expertise attending MIPIM this year.
We have, yeah, partners with various expertise ranging from construction, property litigation, specialists on landlords and HMOs, Building Safety Act, transactional lawyers covering hotel, healthcare, social housing. It's going to be great to have the team all out there, seeing contacts old and new.
And great to see, we're a Manchester firm, great to see Manchester back at MIPIM this year.
It's fantastic to see Manchester back, to have that stand on the Croisette, to have those talking points, and for the Greater Manchester area to really push in and show what Manchester has to offer to international investors, what's on the scene. It's very much going to be what's next for Manchester, where do we go next? Are we going to achieve what we need to do in terms of our carbon zero status by 2038? Where are the new opportunities, where are the new hotspots? And it's hot on the foot of the FDI announcing that Manchester is really up there within European cities, an opportunity for growth. So it's great to see, and we're really excited.
Many developers at the moment are thinking about ESG. Gemma is a specialist in ESG.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's really nice meeting people that are going to be going, because it's my first time at MIPIM, so I'm not really sure what to expect, but the fact that from my point of view there's a massive push towards sustainability and ESG at MIPIM, I think it's interesting to see that people are actually getting involved in that before we get there, before it all starts.
And is ESG something that developers need to be aware of?
Yeah, 100%. So developers now obviously are heavily influenced by the funds. The funds are having to report on the biggest funds are having to report on their own ESG standings. As the years go by, smaller and smaller funds are going to have to report on their ESG. And the whole point of reporting on ESG is not so much what are we doing today, it's what's the plan for the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. And you need to be able to show demonstrable improvements over time. So I think if developers aren't latching onto ESG and making obvious changes to their building practices and their purchasing practices, and when they're getting rid of buildings, when they're demolishing buildings, I think if they're avoiding it now, they're going to be left behind and they're not going to be able to catch up.
And so does that mean funders are more aware then of ESG requirements?
Definitely. So funders, insurers, I speak to a lot of lenders, a lot of big lenders, and a lot of big insurers. I was speaking to Aviva last week. They won't really look at buildings now. They won't look at portfolios unless they have an ESG plan or are already green. So funders are aware that if they're lending, these buildings and the portfolios that don't have a good ESG strategy and a good sustainability strategy are not going to be worth anything in a few years. So the risk to them is huge.
And we're at 20 Stories in Manchester. It's great to look around and see older buildings, if I can put it like that, being repurposed. Is that something that's ESG friendly?
Yes, 100%. So it's my favourite thing to deal with, I think. At AG we look at a lot of existing buildings. We look at new builds as well, but we look at a lot of existing buildings and look at how we can go into those and repurpose them. So we have, in Manchester, we obviously have some beautiful buildings that have been here hundreds of years, and they've done what they've needed to do for hundreds of years, and they've already been repurposed. And so there's no reason why we can't keep repurposing them. And the technologies we've got now mean that we can do that. We can demolish parts, we can retrofit, we can retrofit sympathetically to the age of the building as well, and we can make it so that it really suits its occupants. So obviously post-COVID we're in a completely different world. People aren't coming back to the office as quickly as we'd hoped. So we need to look at how we make those buildings work more for their occupants, and how they actually give back to the people that are in them. So I think retrofit personally is the way forward. The embodied carbon that you create with retrofit is a fraction of that if you were to demolish and rebuild. And happily, we're seeing that it's costing less than demolishing and rebuilding. The embodied carbon is less, and actually tenants are looking for greener buildings, ones with a lower embodied carbon. So actually, landlords are getting higher rent per square foot than they would have done with a brand new shiny building that's cost them twice as much.
Absolutely, yeah. No, looking forward to it today. It sets the scene for MIPIM, less than a week away now, so just going to be great to share thoughts about some of our contacts that are going out there, see what everyone's got planned throughout the week, start generating the momentum now. So it's starting to really starting to kick in, yeah.
And what are you hoping to, who are you hoping to speak to when you're over in MIPIM?
So this year, I think we're going to have a busier MIPIM than we did last year. There's going to be, from our side, from contacts that we know are going, we've got some developers, social housing developers, investors, number of brokers going. So for me, it's about putting the right people together, and I've got a particular focus this year on meeting up with some private equity funds, some angel investors, and generally some lenders as well, because they tend to be the driving force behind a lot of these transactions that we're working on. So plan of action really is to see whether we can facilitate some introductions on that front to some of our network of contacts that are going this year.
And it's great to see just behind you so much development here in Manchester.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? You know, it's not until you get this high up in the city that you actually see what's going on, and the momentum really in the city. And what's also fascinating as well is, and we've worked with a number of developers in the city centre, but it's fascinating to see how the city centre is expanding. You know, the Northern Gateway, the developments on Regent Road. You know, we're starting to see a gradual extension of the city centre, and it's amazing. Manchester, the place to be.
It's great to be here, 20 stories again for the JMW Pre-MIPIM breakfast. Delighted to be invited back, and looking forward to discussing what's coming in a couple of weeks' time.
And you've got an important announcement to make, haven't you, over in France?
We do. On the 14th, we'll be launching Place North, which is our new brand, and two publications, Place Yorkshire and Place North East.
And so are you looking forward to getting out to Cannes?
Absolutely, yes. Last year was a very good MIPIM, and this year we expect it to be busier. There's more return from UK stands, and therefore the contingent will be larger. We look forward to getting to meet new people and people we already know.
And Manchester will be back at MIPIM this year. What's the market like in Manchester?
That's right, Manchester are back. They have a stand and a schedule of events of which we're part. The market's continuing to grow. It's the envy of the country at the moment in terms of city bounce back post-pandemic.
And so you've been looking at emerging hotspots, haven't you? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Indeed. As the core of Manchester continues to grow, you know, the towns on the outskirts, Eccles, Wythenshawe, towns and villages in parts of Bury and Bolton are starting to find much more interest and investment opportunity. So we did an event recently where we were highlighting where are the next hotspots in GM, and it was the biggest event we've done since 2019.
Well, I came last year and absolutely loved it, so when I got the invite again this year I was very much looking forward to it. It's always great to see what everyone has planned and to kickstart the preparations for 2 weeks' time.
And are you looking forward to getting out to France?
Absolutely. Hopefully the weather is a little bit better than Manchester. We didn't have great weather at MIPIM last year, so I'm hoping for a little bit more sunshine, and it's just great to interact with so many new people, and I think we're expecting it to be a lot busier than it was last year. It was my first time last year and it seemed busy, and I'm told that was quiet, so I'm really interested to see what busy looks like when we're out there.
And it's great to see so much development here in Manchester. When people think of development, I think they often think of office space, but people have got to live somewhere as well. So how's the residential market?
Absolutely. I mean, Manchester is just like no other city in the UK right now in terms of residential development. I come here 2-3 times a week, and even coming that often, I walked round the corner and it was radically different to what it was several weeks ago. The rapid change across the city now is just unbelievable. I think we're going into a really interesting time in the residential market right now. Obviously, over the last 6 months, we've seen a bit of a roller coaster ride. Starting off with Liz Truss and the rise in interest rates, the end to Help to Buy. We've got a lot of nervous developers right now. Pearson yesterday issued a profit warning and seen a significant change in their market. Likewise this morning with Taylor Wimpey. So I think there's a lot of very nervous developers right now. I don't think we're going to go into a downturn, but a significant downturn. But we're seeing a significant stall in the market and a stagnation, if you like. So it's going to be a very interesting 12 months to see what plays out, how developers react, and most importantly how buyers and investors react.
Oh, it's great. It's lovely to be here. You know, it's a Wednesday morning, first thing, the sky's out. We're getting into spring now. We've got over Christmas. It's a lovely venue to host a round table, so really great to be here.
And are you looking forward to getting out to MIPIM?
Oh, I can't, do you know, it's my first year I'm going to MIPIM. Having come from a high street bank for the last 10 years and now joining together, it's great to finally get out there and be able to see clients again, hopefully picking up a bit more now we're out of COVID and it's long gone. So I'm really excited to get out there. I think there's loads of opportunity in the market in the next 2023, particularly with property finance. We're a lender who are looking to specialise in helping customers with flexible solutions for different properties that they're looking to finance. We're here to help them achieve their long-term strategy goals.
And you mentioned that word opportunities. You can help with that, can't you? So can
Absolutely.
you just tell me a little bit about some of the products that you offer?
Yeah, so the types of products that together are great at offering are commercial term loans, buy-to-let facility loans, we can do bridging loans, auction finance. We offer, like I said, a bespoke, flexible solutions for any of our clients that are looking for funding, and we like to work with them to make sure it's equitable for them as it is for us, and we're helping them achieve their long-term, vision for their property portfolios or businesses to, ultimately give them what they need to do. And we're still a business. We will always provide that bespoke advice and help and work with the customers, and we're present in our local markets. So I cover the Northwest, and it's great to be out and about and see people again and actually be a face of the business and to say we're open, we're here to help you, and we'd love to work with you.
And please keep an eye on JMW's website and social media for updates from MIPIM. I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man.